Hello and welcome again to yet another episode of Romancing Our Stones, your male survival guide to media and pop culture. Your girl will likely drag you to. This is Alex.
And I am Matt, and welcome everyone to a special COVID edition of Romancing Our Stones.
Oh yeah. Why is this a special COVID edition, Matt?
Because I am riding the lightning, or I got diagnosed and tested positive for COVID, probably from open mouth kissing Alex, but
I told you I was a carrier, Matt. You didn't believe that.
You're a super spreader, man. You and your good looks are a super spreader. So I am in quarantine now until almost Christmas Eve. So
And for those concerned listeners, Matt is feeling just fine. Little feels like what? What are your symptoms you said you're feeling?
well, I felt like I've been hungover the last 4 days. I've been coughing, sneezing, runny nose, and a kind of sinus headache in the front of my head. And also I lost my ability to taste or smell. So it's kind of wild, but we knew I had no taste for a long time because I like this show. So maybe I'm just growing into my news myself. So who knows?
Well, and I've always told you, you've always been such a positive guy. It was only a matter of time before you tested positive. So.
I feel positive, and I have a piece of paper that proves it. Anyone else that's afflicted by this, I hope it's going as well for you as it is for me. But here we are, and because of that, I will not be drinking today because I couldn't tell you how it tastes. It would just taste like water to me. Mm-hmm. Also, we're on our lunch break, so I don't think it's a good idea for us to drink during lunch.
No, this is a special daytime cast that our listeners are listening on. So,
ABC's kind of fucking up our life a little bit because all of a sudden I gotta pause it. Hold on. Sorry, everybody. I had to go. My door rang. So ABC's really fucking us just because they're trying to get the season over with and done, and stacking it up 2 episodes in a row is more work for you and me. And now we have to do it during our lunch break. So just to get you guys up to the date as quick as possible. And so we are going to be reviewing. Sorry, I'm out of breath. This COVID shit going down the stairs.
fitness.
Fitness is my passion.
The stairs is a workout. That's the workout of the day.
Seriously, I can just go back to what I was doing. We're reviewing the Men Tell All episode, which had a little bit of show, rose ceremony, and one-on-one date. So we thought we'd
a couple good discussion topics, right, that we're going to get into. So
Blake's boner.
Well, his energy.
Oh,
wasn't it his energy?
His animal magnetism, coming through his shorts.
So let's kick off the episode. Bennett comes back. Yeah. There's a couple minutes that pass by where the guys are talking, but let's get into it. Bennett walks back into the room. You could tell he was just waiting for that opportunity. He's thinking about it in the limo or wherever on his way back into the hotel, being like, "You look like you guys seen a ghost."
Well, he did do that, and you're right. And I'm not discrediting you. But before that happened, there was a one-on-one date because I was at the rose ceremony.
Was it the one-on-one date?
It was at the rose ceremony. It's because she let go of 2 people before he came in there, which was weird that he came at all.
Yeah.
She went on a one-on-one date with Blake Moynes first, and they went to a spiritual healer, which literally I think was the wife of Rob Schneider from Grown Ups. I think that they hired her, and or the woman that said Sasquatch stole all the lunches from Billy Madison. Anyway, they talk about chakras. They talk about connectiveness. They talk about the mind, body, and spirit. And you can just kind of see that Tayshia was not feeling it at all.
No. I personally, I got a little bit of Carol Baskin vibes from it. But that's just me. The shaman. She gave me like Carol Baskin. Maybe it's blonde hair. I don't know, but
it was weird. So
it was weird.
But they laid down. They felt their sexual energy, and then they looked into each other's eyes. And Blake was all in.
Tayshia looked at Blake's penis.
Yeah. It was stiff competition, but was hard for her to make a decision, but she had this throbbing sense of release that she needed to make, and that was him. Those are all boner puns, by the way. She realized she had to release.
I'm right there with you.
She had to release him from the competition. He seemed shocked, but then again, it was weird how his reaction, because Blake's whole thing this entire time was, I just want to keep pace with my friends who are married. So
yeah, well, his thing too was he really had a hard time getting up to speed where the rest of the guys were. He was like, all right, I'm going to drop Claire. Let's focus on her. She seems amazing too, but he never really opened up. I don't know. I take him as one of those guys who will research and read a lot of stuff on how to date a girl before he decides, okay, I'm comfortable getting into it. And they threw a curveball at him with Claire leaving, and all of a sudden he didn't have any information on this girl, and I think he just took too long to develop a relationship. I think that's ultimately why she let him go.
Yeah, and he really put a lot of pre-work into Claire. I mean, he read her bios, he watched all her seasons. You can tell how much he prepared for her. It's kind of
like a book on Alzheimer's because of her mother.
Yeah. It's kind of
dedicated.
It's kind of like the Pac-12 this season. It's like you train all week to play USC, and all of a sudden you have to play San Diego State because USC canceled. Game film's important to some of these guys. So he was kind of he had to start from zero, which like Ricky Bobby, he didn't know what to do with his hands. So she sent him home because and then she kind of gets in this warpath of, all right, I'm going to cut people that I don't see it with, which another move I respected out of her for sure, because, we'd been talking about Riley for a long period of time, and how unfair this whole thing's been for Riley, because Riley is a good dude. I mean, he has his walls, and I think we said in an earlier podcast, I don't know if it was you or me, but, Riley is in a situation where if he had more time, he'd be the clear winner.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of played out in this case because, he's a solid dude and a virtuous dude, but at the same time, he kind of had this whole thing's time oriented, which is a pro and con of this entire show.
Yeah. It's very much a unreal environment, right? You got a truncated timeline and you have 20 other men vying for the same girl. So I feel like, I think I want to say you probably said this, that he's the type of guy where in a normal situation, which girls out there, if you live in his neighborhood, go hit him up, because it seems like he's a solid dude. I think again, under normal circumstances, normal timeline, normal relationship building structure, mainframe that you guys have in place under normal circumstances, he's going to be a good dude. I think he lost out to the competition, I shouldn't say that. He lost out to the system, not to the competition.
I got to tell you though, man, dating this day and age, once girls get to 30, they have a shot clock, which is almost as fast as the show, as well. So, I mean, it's, it's one of those things that takes time. You make a bad decision, you're divorced, and Riley's been through enough, it seems like, with his own father. So why is he going to rush anything? And he's an attorney. He seeks for the truth, and he's going to fight for what's truthful. And I just was really impressed with him. So I was glad she let him go. He exited gracefully. What did you say you liked that he said?
I like that he well, one, you could tell he was frustrated because he was saying, one time at first he was like, well, give me an explanation. Why did you not just let me go earlier? If you knew this, why did you string me along for another couple episodes? I could have been doing, figuring out my stuff, right? I could have been moving on with my life. She didn't really give him that great of an answer. Just that it's tough for her, and she just wasn't feeling it, whatever, right? She just, in my opinion, she didn't really answer his question, why didn't you just let me go a week earlier? But I will say this. After she responded, you could tell he was fighting himself. And I think this is a really big sign of just emotional maturity. And and a reasonable man. He thought about it. He was going to say something. He paused. He waited and he thought about it and he goes, you know what? I can say whatever I want, or I can try and argue with you. The result's going to be the same.
Yeah.
It's not going to change the result. And with that, I'm going to head out. And like, I thought that was like the best way. And you could tell he was frustrated, right? That was the best way any person's ever exited the show.
Well, I think that this is a skill that everyone lacks in the world today. And it's coming from two guys that have a podcast that spread their opinions, thinking that people give a shit about what we say. I'm a walking oxymoron, but at the same time, it's like, just because you have an opinion doesn't mean you need to share it, A, and B, means that you need to hold other people to your own opinion, and you also need to recognize when you're defeated in an argument, in a debate, in a, whatever it may be. Riley realized that he is not going to change her mind. And he realized he has a lot of things he could say. And he could do a lot of things that could hurt her. Or he could say a lot of things that hurt other guys in the room.
Yeah.
But why bring it up? He's already defeated. And,
I think also I think also with that response also comes a very solid foundation of self-respect.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, he's like, look, if she's not liking me, there's somebody that is going to like me. He knows he's a catch. He knows he's got a lot to offer. If she's decided to say no to him, all right. He's going to be disappointed in that because he liked her. But guess what? He has enough self-confidence in knowing like he's going to find somebody else. So again, also plays into the fact that why am I going to fight this?
Yeah. And Tony Robbins always says the fastest way to have the tallest building in town is to destroy the city, as opposed to building up your own tower. I think Riley recognized that carpet bombing the entire city to restore his sense of self-worth wasn't necessary. And it just goes to show how foundationally sound that dude is. So he went home, and then there was a rose ceremony, and then Bennett walks to the door and says,
sorry, I thought Bennett was right up front. I don't know why I was mixing that up.
Because you like talking about Bennett. We all do.
Because he's my favorite.
He's the best.
Riley might be my hero of the season, but Bennett's by far my mascot.
Your spirit animal.
Yeah. I love Bennett.
Chateau Bennett.
He's too entertaining. I'm really sad to see him go.
So he comes back in and he tells the story. He's like, yeah, I acted like a total sociopath and came back in and emotionless told her that I love her. So she asked me to come here and I'm very confident. Looks like Zach was wearing the same suit he's worn all season. That drove me nuts. Noah looked like he was going to senior prom, with the black coat. I did appreciate Bennett's suit. I thought it was a nice suit. Brendan looks like he raided a crew neck sweater shop. Brendan always has the turtlenecks. Always. I know, but it was a crew neck this time.
Was it?
Yeah, but it was a turtleneck, like knit crew neck. I was like, wow. I don't know. I'm gonna start rocking that, man. I'm gonna start. Once I'm healthy and I can come out of my house, I'm gonna start wearing the blazer and the crew neck turtleneck.
The blazer and the crew neck turtleneck. I like.
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and then a big chain. My chain now is a little too dainty.
Rock a mock turtleneck. I want to see you bring that back.
I like the old newscaster ones where it's only right here.
Yeah, it's only That's takes a strong man to bring that back.
I'll try.
I think he got the chops.
I'm willing to sacrifice for the team here. So then Bennett and Noah go home.
Let's talk about. Does Noah surprise you at all?
From what part? The show or the men tell all?
From leaving, from not getting a rose.
No, I thought he wasn't serious.
Yeah.
But I thought I don't know. When he left, he's like, "See you, everybody," and he like points to the sky as he walks out. And it's like, is that like because he's buddies with everyone, or does he think he's buddies with everyone?
I don't know. Well, which is great because we find out later in the men tell all that they all hated his guts. But anyways, we'll get there. But I'm like you. My only issue was you can really tell that Tayshia was really going through something because She should have just gotten rid of both of them on the onset on that 2-on-1.
I know, it was weird.
After their tiff, after seeing kind of what their dynamic was, and being like, this is stupid. Because she kept him around. She's told Bennett to leave. She kept Noah around. Bennett comes back, says he loves her. She keeps him around only to come to the rose ceremony hours later to let him go again. And then she also lets Noah go. I'm like, just send them both packing. But again, I think she's, and we were kind of talking about this, I think last episode. I think that the production crews were like, hey, we got to wrap this up. Let's go. We got Matt James coming on January 4th. You got to start making some decisions. And she's not there yet because, let's face it, Claire robbed her of like 4 good episodes to get to know the guys.
Yeah.
So like she's having, speaking of truncated timelines, she's got very little time to figure out who she's going to marry, which is just a ridiculous concept in and of itself. On top of the fact that the show already boils down a relationship into about 2 months of filming. But I think it really goes to show like she really doesn't know where she's at emotionally. So she's flip-flopping.
Having said that, though, she actually has ended up with probably the most solid 4 finalists I've ever seen.
Short of Riley, yes.
Short of Riley. I mean, I thought these are all really good dudes, but again,
Yes.
it's like hard to even. I mean, even if you call Riley your last elimination, the top 5 were all super good dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
but she's doing a great job. Well, and here's the thing: is Claire started out with a really good set of guys too. Because if you've noticed now, none of all the original guys are still there. None of the new guys that came in there, she kicked them all out. The last one being Noah, of course. So,
right. Yeah.
I mean,
Spencer, we hardly knew ye. But it leads to the men tell all. Chris Harrison's back. They have DeMar. They have Jason. They have Noah. They have Kenny. They have
a very limited seating group.
Bennett, Riley, Ed, and then I don't remember who else. Oh, Blake Moynes. And then Yosef stopped by.
Yosef, yeah. He stopped by just to get roasted.
Yeah, I mean, it was bizarre. Oh, so they started
the whole rest of the episode, or what?
Just the men tell all portion. I mean, they obviously wanted to stir some stuff with the guys, and they wanted to get more insight on the Noah Bennett thing. And it really seems like Bennett is nipping at Bennett's heels, and Bennett could care less, but he's going to indulge him because I think he saw it as like intellectual sport to do this. And then like DeMar out of nowhere steps up and he's like, you know what, Bennett, you are condescending. And Bennett's like, well, give me one example of where I've been condescending. And he's like, no, you've always been cool to me, man. Like, but you have to recognize that when people are younger than you, they felt like you were speaking condescendingly to him. And then it's like, but no one was able to give a specific answer.
Yeah. To be fair, we said this on the podcast too. His delivery is very condescending.
Correct.
So,
yeah, I don't think it's intentional. I think that's just the way that he's built. And I mean,
which we addressed. It's like, I think it's definitely a mindset thing. I think he's a very smart dude. He can't relate to people who think more normally. And so when he has to explain something to somebody, he tries to explain in a way he thinks they might understand it. And it just comes across as being super condescending.
Yeah. And I mean, and hearing Noah and how snappy he was, and then a chance to bury the hatchet, to demonstrate their maturity difference.
His emotional maturity.
Well, it's like
addressed.
But at the end, she's like, I don't see us being friends after this. And Bennett's like, that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
you don't have to be friends with everybody.
Yeah. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. We don't have to be friends. We can just be acquaintances.
Yeah, we can know
each other. Yeah.
We did a thing together. So
yeah, I'll keep my name out of I'll keep your name out of my mouth. I'm not gonna be talking shit on you because we're cool. Like I'm burying the hatchet. Let's just move on.
So I thought, like
I don't want to be your friend. I didn't say that.
I don't care.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to hang out with you anyway. But Noah attacked Kenny for being a One Direction wannabe or something like that, calling out his camo outfit, and it's like, and calling out his tattoos. It's like, I have an issue with people calling out things that people can't change. Like, if someone has a tattoo, then like I don't think that's a fair game to make fun of them, unless it's an ironically place tattoo. You know, you can make fun of his camo suit, whatever, because he can take it off at the end of the day. But like, he went hard at Kenny, and it's like I don't remember Kenny having beef with anybody.
Yeah, Kenny wasn't necessarily a jerk to him. I mean, he's the guy that we talked about when he was around. It's like you look at him and you don't take him seriously, but when he opens his mouth, you're like, actually, this guy's pretty sharp.
Yeah,
he's more mature than how he presents himself physically. So. I mean, again, there must have been enough going on behind the scenes for somebody to go after Kenny, but I agree. I didn't see any purpose or any reasoning, any way in which he deserved a full frontal attack from somebody in the crew.
No. And then they didn't really talk about anything else. I mean, well, except for Yosef. When Yosef came out, Chris Harrison asked him 30 different ways to apologize or say you're sorry or say you regret something.
Yeah. Which maybe he could have even just been like, hey, I'm sorry if I did offend people, Claire, like my delivery, I thought what I was saying was true, was right. You know, like, but I apologize if I offended her in a way I wasn't intending to. Right. But no, it's like, no,
I'm good. No,
I'm good.
I don't care how I presented myself. I
said what I said.
And then he tried to like switch it on. Did you notice how she escalated things? It's like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, so I felt for Jason. Jason wanted to step up for Claire because he's obviously still enamored with her. Poor Jason, man. I kept seeing him there. I felt so bad. And it's like, you didn't have to be there either, Jason, but like you're there.
Yep.
But you know, but I mean,
he's defending the girl that ripped his heart out and
oh gosh,
and unwrapped a whole lot of family shit, only to throw her dress in the fire and let him go later that week.
I was talking about that with someone today, and just like how superficial that whole scene was. It's like write things down that people have called you, and he's like manipulative, and she's like, bitch. I was just like laughing to myself. It's just like, you know, like he's like haunted and she's like ugly. I'm like, okay, let's burn my dress.
Finally got that off my chest.
Oh, right. Let's throw this on the stones. Right.
Well, here's a rose. I'll see you later.
Poor
and
Jason.
I would imagine if he just sat for hours in the jacuzzi just with a beer.
They said I'm not nice. Okay. I'm fake. You know,
poor Jason.
And Jason's like mentally abusive. Fake.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt so bad for him.
Just in case Jason wasn't sure who the show was about. It was all about Claire, just like which we always gave her trouble about from the very beginning. Oh, okay, this is the Claire show. This isn't even the Bachelorette. This is the Claire show.
Tasha's been a welcome change.
Wonderful.
And
I'm really bummed Jason didn't like give her a shot, but maybe he wasn't vibing on her, you know.
I think a part of it too, he's got to be like, maybe I'm not ready to settle down. You know, like after all this stuff surfaced and all these feelings and like I opened up to someone and she immediately leaves me. Yeah. Like I think that, you know, maybe he realized he wasn't ready. Maybe it was more of that. But
maybe he's a little in over his skis. Yeah.
Yeah. So then
I want to get Jason on this show. How do we get Jason to be on our show? I'd love to pick his brain about it. Just like give him our take.
I think we just need
Jason. Hit him up.
Hit him up. We have whiteboards if that makes him more comfortable.
Whiteboards, not with clay backgrounds. They're not clay ones.
Yeah, they're not on terracotta. We're not that rich. We're still looking for sponsors here. So, yeah, I mean, I feel bad for him. And Tayshia came out and nothing really was said. I mean, they made a big deal out of Blake Moynes, but I don't feel like he was a prominent player at all.
He's always just kind of there. He had his funny moments, right? He entertained us at times, but then like again, he wasn't progressing enough, fast enough, and that's what the show's about. You got to keep pace. If you're not keeping pace, you're gonna.
And then I thought the conversation with Riley and Tayshia was extremely grown up when he said, "Hey, just let me know if we had more time, could this have worked?" I mean, because I've been thinking about that. Or was that Blake or was that Riley? No, that's Blake.
It wasn't Riley because Riley wanted an explanation, but then he was like, "I'm not going to go there." So,
Blake. Blake said, "If we had more time, would this have worked out?" Which I think is a fair question, and I think she answered it very directly, and I really like that too, because some people got to realize that the train just moved on, and you have to move on too. So, I thought that was interesting.
Which again goes to show the group of guys that she has left, right?
Correct.
Noah's like, peace. The rest of the guys were like,
he does like the Sammy Sosa finger thing, like
Sammy Sosa.
Then they watched the bloopers, which I didn't really see anything bloopy or funny about these ones.
It was whatever. Yeah. No, that's kind of fun. But
she got her dress stuck in the door. Oh, and let's talk about Ed and Chris Harrison's bromance. Like, I thought I love that they brought that up. And it seems like Chris Harrison is like the man. So like,
I would argue with how that whole session went, with how escalated it got. They were masterful in cutting the tension with the funny moments.
Yeah.
And Ed, the one where he brought back Ed and the guys are just dying on the couch. Like, they were just cussing each other out at one point. 10 seconds later, they're all dying on the couch, slapping each other on the shoulder because they're watching Ed walk into Chris Harrison's room.
Well, you realize that they had, I mean, I don't know if they've seen those scenes yet.
No, I don't think they had.
So it's really funny. Like, and it, like, come to think of it now, if like I ever was on the show, I'd go hit up Chris Harrison, be like,
hell yeah.
Give me one of your man bands and let's you see his new ring line?
No.
He has a new ring line with man bands. I wasn't asking for anything sexual. And let's chit chat about life, man.
Can you get that engraved on one of his man bands? I don't want anything sexual.
That's
Chris, work on it. Get on that.
Get on it, Chris.
One of those man bands.
And then the show ended when I think that actually the part in the credits was actually one of the most funny parts was that when Bennett got everyone green juices from Chateau Bennett.
Yeah.
And he gave Noah a sippy cup, and you saw how Noah took it. You wonder how heated this actually was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I thought it was really funny.
It could have been one of the first Stones cast, though. If that was the first of many, I would have been like, that's like, I would have probably treated it the same way. Like, that's pretty funny. I get it. Like, I'm the young one. I get, like, get a good chuckle out of it. But then if you kept feeling it from Bennett, that's when it would have. So my guess is that, because think about that was pretty early on in the season.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that was one of the first Stones cast.
But also, like, as a young guy, I would be pissed. As an older guy, like now.
You're saying as an old guy, you'd be pissed with a younger guy.
No. If as a young guy, being treated like that would make me pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I'm older, I completely understand and agree with Bennett. It's like, dude, you're 25. Like,
yep.
Do you know what you want? And, I got married at 27, engaged at 25. Like, did I really know? I mean, it's
youthful,
weird.
It's youthful naivety, right? Because at 25, you've had a few life experiences, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, you think you've done it, right? Like, okay, I've had some things I've had to work through. I'm mature now, right? And it's like, dude, you've been in the adult world for like 5 years. Chill, like, like you haven't experienced jack yet.
Like
and
that's 5 minutes. So
yeah,
I get it, but that's kind of how the show wraps. And this is Romancing Our Stones, and after every episode, we give a Stones rating to dictate whether we liked it or we didn't like it. We each have 2 stones to give.
Naturally.
And 2 stones means you enjoyed the episode. 0 stones means an act of castration is preferable to watching this particular episode. And then there's also the meaty scale that Alex, I know he's been planning for a long time for this particular episode. So very excited to see his creative juices flowing. If they're pink creative juices out of a chicken, it's not ready yet. Make sure it runs clear. But I will give this episode 1 stone. I was distracted a lot of this. And, I kind of, my ears perked up once she dumped Riley. And then I was really excited for the Men Tell All. And then I thought the Men Tell All in the beginning, when Noah and Bennett were chirping and everyone was chirping, was fun. And I was like, wow, I've never seen this heated before. Also interesting, they made out the guys look at each other, which for men makes men more confrontational if you're looking at someone eye to eye. So I thought that was interesting that they decided not to have them all sitting looking the same direction. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but I think like, wow, is the room too small, or did they set it up this way just to make more confrontation?
No, I mean, it's probably twofold. Probably for confrontation, but also because they're probably complying with California spacing guidelines and room capacity guidelines. Yeah. So they figured we can't put them all together on one side, but we can get maybe, because think about it, they're probably at like what, a mandate of 25% capacity or something like that. So they're like, well, we can't bring everybody back, even though we could socially distance all of them.
Yeah.
But they're probably like, well, we can only work with like 12 of them now. Right. So, but yeah, I think maybe it was to make the room look more full. Who knows? Like, but maybe the production psychologist was like, ooh, make them face each other.
I don't know. I didn't like giving Yosef more FaceTime. So I don't know. So I give it 1 stone. What about you?
Yep. I give it a 1 stone for a lot of the same reasons. I am happy that there was a little bit of story development. They did continue on with the show a little bit before they got us into the tell-all. Maybe that was in part because, like we just mentioned, there wasn't as many guys, so there weren't as many topics to bring up necessarily that didn't involve anybody directly. Like, I don't think Chris Harrison was going to bring up any issues about people behind their backs, so they don't have, they're not there to represent themselves, right?
Yeah.
So, plus these guys have been actually pretty cordial outside of like the Noah Bennett little fiasco, and I think it's but yeah, overall as an episode, it was kind of like you said, there were a couple of things like, ooh, wow, okay. When Tayshia went right in, she goes, hey, I'm struggling with this, but I don't want to waste anybody's time. And she goes, Riley, come walk with me. It's like, which that's the one thing I do want to add. If I could ask Riley anything, I'd be like, if he and I were having a beer at the bar, I'd be like, all right, you got to tell me. Did you know at that moment you were toast?
Oh, of course you knew.
Like, he had to have known he was toast when she was like, can I talk to you? Like, he had to be like, fudge. So anyways, I give it 1 stone. It wasn't very meaty of an episode. I think the next episode will be a little bit more meaty because I think there's a lot more going on. The stakes are higher. We got hometown.
Nice meat pun.
Yeah.
How high are those stakes?
Yeah. They're high stakes. Yeah. I'm gonna give this episode. You know what? I'm gonna give it a beef Wellington. That's what I'm gonna give it.
So there's some vegetables in it that nobody likes.
Yeah.
What's it?
It's got beef in it. There's a little bit of meat.
Is there spinach in beef Wellington?
I mean, I think if you want, I think you can mix it up. I don't think there's like any like. This is definitely what his beef Wellington is. Like,
okay.
I think you can mix it up. So,
okay.
But it wasn't all meat.
All right.
I'm going with that.
2 stones, beef Wellington of an episode. Ben Tell all. Follow us on Twitter at RO Stones Guys, on Instagram at RO Stones Guys, on YouTube at RO Stones Guys. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Fucking COVID.
Well, that again, that's follow us at RO Stones Guys on Instagram at RO Stones Guys.
Yeah, with the
just kidding.
We're gonna lose followers before we get them.
Yeah.
And the finale is coming up. If you want to be part of our show, let us know. Slide into our DMs.
Yes, we are opening up the competition for.
We're gonna remember to share us. Give us proof that you're sharing. Screenshot it at RO Stones Guys. And we are going to do another show tonight for the hometown dates. So listen to that. We'll probably be releasing them simultaneously. And again, we hope that you're healthy, safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one, guys. Stay safe.